No commander that I've met can imagine going to battle without chaplains at his side.
We're not just there for them in the moment of the fight, but also to help them process everything that they've been through.
Right now, as I'm talking to you, we have been under fire.
Let's go!
We had 1 WIA and 1 KIA for our first platoon, and 6 WIA and 1 KIA for our third platoon.
What you see time and time again is chaplains are getting out there to risk their lives to care for those who need us the most.
Our chaplains are non-combatants. They go into a battle space without a weapon of any sort. You have to be fearless to do that.
Well, in honor of Veterans Day, a new film commemorates the unsung heroes of the U.S. military.
For over 200 years, combat chaplains of every faith have provided life and death support on the front lines.
And their extraordinary stories are brought to life in this inspiring new documentary film. It's from executive producer Chris Pratt.
And this morning, we're speaking to Rich Hull and Jeff Struker from the film. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Great to be with y'all.
I'll start with you, Jeff. This has got to be such a hard job for you to do. What is it like? How do you gather that strength to do what you do when you're out there?
Well, obviously a chaplain does what they do because of a very strong faith, but it's also a sense of patriotism and then just a strong love for the guys and gals that they serve.
And what struck you the most? What was your biggest takeaway working on this documentary?
Well, I was honored just to be able to be part of this great group of men and women who serve the guys and gals who serve our country. And this documentary really showcases for the first time to audiences these unsung heroes of battle. And I want to give a huge shout out to Rich for taking this project on.
Yeah, I want to talk to you, Rich, about that. I mean, you've produced many things for film and TV. Now this is your directorial debut. Why did you find it important to bring this story to life?
I actually had no idea that military chaplains existed as a profession, and it's really far more than a profession. It's really a calling. Nobody does this just for a paycheck. And I was aware of Jeff's story, which had been portrayed in the movie Black Hawk Down. Then I reached out to Chris Pratt, as you mentioned, who became my partner on this project, and we thought it was a story worth telling. And this is sort of a bit of a follow-up for me. Halle Berry and I had made a previous documentary with the U.S. Army about black soldiers that had fought in all the U.S. wars we ever had. And she and I won the NAACP Image Award for that. And so I really wanted to come back and tell more military stories. And this is just the perfect one, especially in advance of Veterans Day when it comes out in theaters.
Well, that's incredible, and congratulations on that award. And this is a question both of you can answer. When the viewing audience sees this documentary, what do you want them to gain from it?
Well, I'll go first. I hope that they would go away with an awareness, because unless you've served in the military, most people are not even aware that chaplains exist. But not just an awareness, I hope they go home with a greater sense of patriotism and maybe even enjoy our freedoms a little bit more this Veterans Day weekend.
Yeah, when you ask me that question, I feel like I'm talking to multiple audiences here who would see the movie. There's people with a military connection, there's people with a faith-based connection, and there's people with none of the above, general audiences, because everybody seems to get something different out of the film. And when the lights come up in the theaters, we've seen that there's just a ton of emotion that really happens. And I think really for us, it's about a journey, and there's that word that's in the title of the film, into a profession that nobody knew existed. These are the people that are out there serving the soldiers who are out there serving us. And then I think the call to action that I'd love people to walk away with is, especially for Veterans Day, to check on your veteran friends and family. As Jeff says in the movie, sometimes war can leave scars on your soul, and we've got to think about how we deal with that when people come home. And so the chaplains are the ones that tackle that, and we as humans can tackle that as well. One person can really make a difference, and I think that's the real spirit of the movie.
Such a great story to share. Glad you two decided to take on this project. Rich and Jeff, thanks a lot for joining us this morning. A Fighting Spirit is the name of the film. Thanks a lot.